I first got into DIY and crafting forever ago. My dad is a set designer, so I was always around lots of paint and faux flowers and fabrics, and it was like a playground for me because I just got to have fun. It's like I had my own little craft room at my dad's studio. But I remember being creative way back when. I'm making it in Hollywood, but doing it all myself. I'm Courtney 6, the how-to girl, bringing Hollywood DIY to you. Welcome back to Hollywood DIY. I'm the how-to girl, Courtney 6. On our last episode, we went through your supply closet and we talked about everything you need to get started on your Hollywood crafting journey. And today we're going to be talking about my first Hollywood party prop, drumroll please, monogram invitations. Let's talk a little bit about what inspired these. Nikki and my fairy tale wedding, which was a little over 2 years ago, it was phenomenal. And the first step in planning is obviously the invitation and the guest list. And so we wanted to make the invites so special and really look like us. So we incorporated crosses and lots of gold leafing and a floral print. They were phenomenal. But the most important thing was the monogram. Lots of guests that we sent our invitations to, like Lenny Kravitz and Slash, they literally called us and went, "This is the most badass invitation we've ever seen." So with that being said, I'm going to show you two of my favorite ways to use a monogram, and it's a really great way to dress up anything that's just plain and ordinary, whether it's a thank you note or stationery or even a wine bottle. So let's get started. For this episode, we're talking about monograms, and we lace them through lots of different aspects of our big day. So here you can see they were on our menu cards. They were on our cocktail napkins. This was a thank you note that we sent out. And here I have something really special to show you. I actually just opened this just for you, and it's the first time that I've opened my own wedding invitation. So you can see here's the C and the N at the top here, and they did such a beautiful job. It was wrapped in ribbon and lace. Look how beautiful that invitation is. And there's the big monogram. So obviously it starts with the invite, and then you can bring it into lots of different elements of your event. And that brings me to the first element, which is making our own invitations. So this is a fun way to incorporate either your monogram, or in this case, since we had a monogram on the actual invite, we opted for a little cross, which was a fun way to switch it up. This is an invitation that I recently made on paperlesspost.com, which is my go-to website for all of my stationery needs. They do a really great job. This is a Kelly Wersler invitation, and I'm going to send it out this week. So I thought, perfect timing. I'm going to show you how to make your very own sealed wax monogram to send out for your next party. So we're going to start with a little wax stick. These are available in packs. They're about 8 in a pack for a couple dollars on Amazon.com. And just using a lighter, you're going to light it just like you would a candle. And this takes a minute, so you do have to be a little patient. The nice thing is this is so inexpensive to do, but it goes such a long way. So it's a great way to dress up any invitation. So as you can see, it's about a dime size right now. We want it to get to about a quarter. And then we're good. Now I have the perfect little circle on my envelope of wax, and using my lighter, I'm just gonna carefully heat it up so it's nice and hot. And this is a really good trick because if you don't do that, it will cool too fast. Okay, now I'm just gonna pop my stamp in and let go of it. Wait for about 20 seconds, and then I'm gonna pull it off, and you're gonna be blown away. Okay, and ready? Here we go. Ah, Perfection. Okay, next up, we're gonna be doing the same exact thing, but we're gonna make this wax seal on parchment paper so we can peel it off after and use it almost like a little sticker to dress up a wine bottle. First, I removed all of the labels that came on it. This was a beautiful Pinot Noir, which is one of my favorite reds. Dipped it in wax and then dressed it up in a ribbon and carried the seal, the monogram, throughout the invitation, now over to the bottle. So starting out, once again, I'm using my lighter over the parchment paper, and you're gonna see how much faster this is if you're on a time crunch. It melts way faster. So for this monogram seal, I want it to be about twice the size of the quarter size piece that I did on the envelope. The wax that we're dipping it in is white, and then the seal will be gold with a black ribbon, so it's gonna tie in really nicely to the invitation, and those little things don't go unnoticed. Okay, it's pretty much a good circle now. Using my sealing tool, I'm gonna put my S in there. And then I'm gonna let it sit there for about 20 seconds. There we go. Oh, that looks so cute. On my stove top here, I have melted white wax, and this is what it looked like when it came in the bag. It's just little tiny beads. And the trick with melting wax is there's about 1.5 inches of water in my pot, and underneath the water there is a cookie cutter, and the cookie cutter is underneath it because you don't want the pour pod to hit the heat directly because it will cause the bottom of your wax to burn. It's just way too hot for it. But you need your water almost boiling to get hot enough to melt your wax. So this has been melting. It's been on here for about, I would say, a good 25 minutes, almost a half hour. It does take a little bit of time, but you want to make sure that you're mixing it as you go to avoid it getting clumpy. So now that it's all melted in there, we're going to take our bottle. So this is super simple. You don't need gloves or anything. Just going to dip this right into my wax, and you can go as far down as you want to. And then as I pull it up, I'm just gonna be careful with the fact that it's dripping. And just like I did with the candle, I'm just gonna spin it around. So now it looks like all of the excess wax is drying. Okay, oh, it's looking so pretty. I love the white on the black. It's beautiful. Okay, that turned out great. So we're gonna let that dry for a couple of minutes. Now to dress it up, I'm just gonna use a little bit of black ribbon, my trusty hot glue gun, and our wax seal that we just made. So watch how cool this is. Obviously on paper, this isn't coming up, it's not going anywhere, right? Now look at on parchment paper, you just lift it right up. It doesn't stick at all. That's what's so wonderful about this paper. Okay. If you try to glue right onto the wax, what do you think is gonna happen? The wax is gonna melt. So instead of gluing onto the wax, we're just gonna crisscross our ribbon like so. And I'm gonna glue right onto the ribbon and then overlap it and let it dry. And then it will just naturally hang in place. A little dot of glue. That's all you need. You don't want it to touch your wax and start melting it. Just be careful with that. And then just carry the ribbon around and lightly press down. It is hot, so be careful. And taking our little S seal, once again, not putting glue directly on the wax, even though it will be touching it. You want to have it hit the wax as little as possible. And I'm also still not touching the wax. So once the ribbon is off, the wax is still gonna be intact and look really beautiful for your party guests. And then I'm gonna Make a nice pretty cut at a diagonal angle. That should be even. And look how cute that is. Everything's attainable no matter what budget you're on if you just roll up your sleeves and get to work. On our next episode, we're talking floral displays and place cards. We'll see you then.